Evening all. I've had to come up with a clever cushion arrangement for this. This is something a bit different, and I'm going to review Rockford's Rock Opera. And this is fascinating. This the DVD. We didn't actually use the DVD. This is for children, and it recommends from 5 to 105, so it's a nice broad age grouping. And one of mine is slightly under 5, but very nearly 5. So that was a good age group for us. We actually watched it on the iPad using apps. So it comes in 4 separate apps, and the first one is free, and the next ones are very low cost. And you do need all of them because the story doesn't end. And so if you ended at the end of chapter 4, which is the first app, the first block, it that would be a bit sad, I think, to not know the rest of the story. And certainly my children wanted to know what was happening. I have to be completely open about this. I was immediately attracted to it because it's called an ecological musical, and it has really strong themes around ecology, which is totally up our street. Totally what we're into, totally what we're trying to teach our children. So I was immediately kind of attracted to it. And the people that made it approached me about reviewing it, and I was really happy to. And I am really glad we've watched it. What's been very interesting for me, though, is the reaction of the children, and actually my own reactions watching it as an adult. I didn't realise it would be quite so hard hitting, and I mean that in a good way. The graphics are fun. The kids were totally into that. The music is amazing. The music is brilliant, and we have the CD in the car because they really love the music, and it is real rock. So it's a real kind of singing along stuff. The imagery is very powerful, but it was really the storyline that took us all a little bit by surprise. And my 9-year-old, who is a sensitive soul, watched the very first bit with the Cocklebur Ix, and he's refused to watch it anymore. He's happy for us to talk about it, and he kind of likes to know what's going on with Rockford and Moog, but he doesn't want to watch it. He was actually very tearful, and the theme is extinction, and there is a description in the very first chapter. I'm just warning you, I'm not saying don't watch it, because we've watched it and enjoyed it and the girls have loved it, but just so you know, in the very first chapter, these little fluffy creatures are pushed to extinction because someone used them for their skin. And my 9-year-old was old enough to understand fully what that meant, and he was very distressed about it. So I'm just kind of, the girls, I think, understood it on a level, but didn't go as deeply kind of in their imagination as he did. And so they've watched all of it. They love it. They think Rockford's awesome. They sing along. They've watched it again, actually. So so it was just interesting to kind of see. I got very tearful. There's a penguin that sings this absolutely heartbreaking song about his penguin partner, the love of his life, being taken away. And it doesn't pull its punches. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just putting it out there. As a parent, kind of wanting to make sure we have a feel for what our kids might want to discuss. What's been really interesting about this is how much it's become part of our conversations, how much the children refer to it, how much the themes keep coming back. So whenever we're out and about, we always have a pad and pen, and we draw animals, and we have to guess what they are, and that's how we entertain them while we're waiting for something. And they now draw animals, extinct animals, from the Island of Infinity. So it's really gone deep with them. It's fascinating. So roughly, Rockford is a dog from Battersea Dogs Home, which is a lovely link, isn't it? And his owner Moog is a young boy, and Rockford gets lost and taken to this land of infinity, and this is where all the last of every kind. So all the extinct animals go there. This was a little bit challenging because it's a fine line between what's true and correct scientifically and what's been made up for the story. And my girls did get a little bit confused on occasion between we had a few discussions around if it was true or not, if it was a true story. And I was trying to explain that extinction is real, and some of the animals that they've seen in there were real animals that we know about, and some of them, who we don't always know, do we? What's been made extinct, because we might not have known it was there in the first place. So that has been an interesting what's real and what's not, and what's a story and what's not. So is there, there isn't an island of infinity, but actually, there are animals that humans have hunted or eaten or taken skin. We have, of course, the extinction of animals through deforestation and all sorts of things. So it's been really interesting, because it's just been a fascinating set of discussions that have come from that, and we haven't shied away from those, but it was deeper than I was imagining, if I'm fair. We haven't quite finished, but I've been wanting to do this post for ages and ages, and it's just taken us a little bit longer because we're watching it on the iPad, which we don't use a huge amount with the children, and it's just, there's two of them that want to watch it. One's too young, and one is older and not wanting to, so it's just timing kind of thing of how we've got to do that. It's awesome to have the CDs in the car. We have given one of the DVDs that the people kind of gave us to school, because I think they would really value that. And we're also going to do one as a giveaway, so watch this space for that. It's even more interesting when you find out about the people that made it, and it was pretty much made in an attic by people who are just really committed and really wanting to give this message about what we're doing to our planet, and that really resonates with us. So I think adults will thoroughly enjoy it on a whole different level to children, but I think that children will really pick up on the powerful messages, but I do think they need an adult with them for when they ask those questions, to offer that support and that information. There's a few things we've looked up, there's a few things we've done. We did a good gift. Our son was so distressed. We did a good gift to an animal aid charity that helped him to kind of manage how he was feeling about that. So, and I'll add those links to those organisations here, and to these awesome apps. I hope you really enjoy them. I'll just put it up there again. It's called Rockford's Rock Opera, and you can find it on wherever you go for apps. It'll be on there. You'll have to do a little search. It's the Ecological musical, and it is quite extraordinary.